is interesting. I've met a lot of really neat beings. I really appreciate that. I just want to put that out there. As well, I've met AHA over the past few years, and we've connected through this conference, and then afterwards some awesome non-drill sessions with Gary. So yeah, we've come a long way. Actually, I work at volunteer at CKXU, our university radio station, campus community, which you've seen Aaron, who's the station manager there, and Sean, who's the production coordinator, who's come in and helped us record and document it video-wise and audio-wise. So hopefully we can revisit this later. If there's something that tweaked us, we can review it. The reason why I mentioned that is because AHA and I are doing a show together on Sundays at noon where we get to enjoy the interplay of existence on air, live, to other beings out there in the world. Because you can listen to it either through frequency or online. And yeah, he does his divinations. It's a lot of fun. We get people to call in, and then sometimes there's just us. Just shooting the shit. You know, and who knows what's going to unfold. And it's been fun, so I appreciate that the both of us are doing that together. Yeah, and there may be future potential with other shows that might come up as well with other people. So I'm excited about that one. Yes.
What time is the show, and what's the rate, and what's the call numbers for?
Well, Stephen, thank you very much. Also a board member for CKXU. Good job. CKXU is 88.3 FM. You can tune in on www.ckxu.com, and it's on Sundays from 12 to 1.
Except for this Sunday.
Well, this Sunday we're gonna try to pre-program the show with what we talk about today. So, or what I'll have to.
So I'll be having a Saturday.
Yeah.
When is that again?
Jesus, you want me to be organized? It is on Sunday, June 15th, at 2:30 to 4:30, and it will be the same location as after Shayla's Saturday. So I invite everybody, and I'm sure I will invite everyone to participate. And I'm going to stop talking, and please welcome the Divine AHA.
Yeah, this requires some patience on your part, perhaps, because one of the basic rules of manifesting as an individual with your own magical universe and life is that the very vision of life you have around you, people, places, the way they appear, is really a reflection of how well you can absorb and give out the energy in your life. And when I had the initial plan for this presentation, it was in a space that didn't include all of you. So I was taking you all in. The person that planned the presentation has sadly left the building. So I'm very moved in the heart to be with you all. I don't know why you're not laughing. But you know, it's my intent then as now to present to you why life is magical. And so I just want to set the tone by sharing a poem. One of my teachers. So as you listen, just simply participate in the unfolding of this room. Every breath you take in, welcome all the people in your life and places that are currently living you. And just as we continually confuse our own skin for our own boundary, the world, as solid as it appears, is itself a gateway for something continuous and infinite. And so you breathe that in. And you take a pause. And during that pause, you allow your cells to respond to the wider event, though it cannot be slotted into your awareness. It's very much presently behind the beating of your heart. And breathe out like sunlight to a flower. The flower being the entire world around you, not just as it appears, but on the level of the will, on the level of the mind, on the level of the emotions, level of the body. Grow it with that breath out. Take another pause. And maybe just try and keep that up. And it'll give me some support in presenting, because any kind of solid mind is held together by its own restriction or access to that basic current, which Trent was talking of. And when you allow that widening of the current, what the fuck importance is it what you say one moment when you're in the next moment? So I hope you can all relate to that. How one moment, what was of so much concern, has shifted and is no longer relevant. You've moved on to another room. And so when you breathe, be in awareness, you are the space that's in all rooms at once. And so just as this poem is read by Satin, and just as I have a song for you to hear, use this opportunity to weave balance into everyone and everything in your life. And just enjoying the going. Because this endless and moving current is, there's a hidden presence with it. That is the infinite. Not infinite energy, but infinite presence. You're very big. Outside of any twisted display of your own body, mind now is the person outlives everyone. I'm not shitting you, it's real. So I just want to open the atmosphere by this lovely poem called Magic. Oh, sure. Oh, okay.
Okay. Magic. Magic is the sneeze in the breeze with a wheeze. Horace sees what's in store at the door, if you please. Magic now and here, oh my dear, do not fear. Fire does not sear when you flow. With the crow,
Chanticleer.
Thank you. Magic is the crow in the snow of a light show. As above, so below, depths to heights, we are knights, answered O. Magic is the frog, Hecate's bog, God the dog, man of fog, which is wind, that's no sin, captain's log. Magic is love, the serpent and the dove, iron hand, velvet glove, lady above. All am not Pan, Awas is my man, and Baphomet is thereof. Magic spirit fire, all-consuming desire, I aspire to the conditioned prior, archer, aim your arrow. Through the heart of the pharaoh, voices unite in choir.
Splendid. And what is it about the nature of what's really going on here that makes sudden change the fact? What is it about the prior condition that we're in here? And just by a quick examination of the vibrations through numerology, we can see exactly what's going on here to create the experience not only each individual is having, but allows the world to take such a magical form. So we start with oneness. And it's important to realize that in our experience, experiencing as we do multiplicity, that underneath everything is a single condition. It's known as, in 3 parts, as a trinity. The Hindus call it Sat Chit Ananda. I call it the heart, light, life. And just how everyone is together, moving and being with each other, not just in this room, but all rooms. That is Sat. Existence, the heart. That means that sense of realness that we have to our own being is not just a total crock of shit. It is, in fact, the present reality of everyone being together. And then Chit, the light, that we have awareness of this whole world through each other and our own thoughts. What's that about? It's all beings on quantum, human, cosmic levels, not only being together, but communicating together. Parts making wholes, wholes bursting out. And suddenly, we see something, staring directly at it out of the corner of our eyes. And all that's happened is the universal communication has found somewhere to land through our attention. And life, bliss, the fact that everything is this current of communication, shit, to the heart, and that it's moving, ongoing, forever. And it's taken many forms to come together, to appear as you. We're just still, everyone, all together. Then you have something else going on here, besides this oneness. It's the principle of two, up and down, back and front, form, emptiness, same presence, different modes, form, emptiness. Right from the start, each individual is involved in a circuit where the collective activity, infinite in its scope, has been concentrated. And you appear the activity of that. And it's not just a one-way thing. As the energy hits the cell, it grows out 1 to several trillion. And no matter how much work you think you do in a day, that's a lot of energy you give out in the womb. And things are relatively easy then. That's key to effortless in our everyday life. Effortlessness. Here we are. We're breathing every moment. Taking in. Giving out. And like any friction, any fire, there's this brightness that happens from this continuous in and out. And that brightness is really all that collective activity that you let in your awareness is the witness to your thoughts and everything you sense and feel. A lot of people think that's it. That's who they are. They're the witness beyond their thoughts. But that's just tasting briefly of the energy. The more you sink into that witness, there's nothing seen, even with eyes wide open. And so this action out shows up with awareness as intent. Without awareness, it's will, our passion to move in a particular direction that we feel we belong in. And then there's love, taking in. We make our environment intimate to us through emotion, and it's free flow, open and close, open and close. And with awareness, we find behind this love, innocence, this fact that here you are manifested by the entirety of the cosmos, but like you feel, you're involved in this vision of a private part. And no point in hiding your genitals from the beloved and being afraid to express yourself this moment. That is one of the bases of spiritual practice. I mean, if we're taking in and we're blocked, often there's thought content, and when we're blocked from giving out our energy, there's like this emotional restrictions. But when you're freely taking in and giving out, because you intentionally and with awareness perform a spiritual practice, then all of a sudden, instead of getting just caught up with the emotional or thought content, you continue this current of breathing in and breathing out through that conscious activity. And what happens to that content? It burns up because it's a friction that's been caused. You're all really not really taking in, giving out, just living the mediocre theater, but all of a sudden you're really involved. And life responds to that attention. And so we have two going on. So not only are you one by virtue of the heart, light, and life making it available to conscious knowing, you're also this moment taking in and giving up to whatever degree of like real intent or not. It's going on all the time. The fire's burning all the time. And the result of that fire is that you can never really hold on to any separate part, thinking you're a separate vision of some possibility. That fire just, it's actually illuminating your entire life. You're seeing all your loved ones through it. You're seeing the entire world through that fire. So, at the level of 3, we've got the witnessing two sides. We've got seeing that you arise in creative moments, destructive moments, and moments where the whole scene is allowed to continue. You're a killer, you're a nourisher, and you are the one that brings birth to ultimately what's already there, but needs to be part of the event. So, with consciousness, that heart and light and life, we have the presence of existence. Anything that's felt to be real, not just a mere passing dream, is a result of everyone communicating, being together, and moving together. That provides the reality for each of our points of view. And then with the 2, we've got power. It's the friction, it's the power that actually illuminates and moves everything. And then when we notice that we can be creative, nurturing, or destructive, we have the notion of time and space. We find ourselves existing at a point of view. Again, it's going out, it's going in. And identifying in space-time is a broad deal. There's no indication that there's any reality to be found through a long life. And so you have the final principle of what's going on in the real. It's like a hidden place. It's the space in between. It's that very door of the heart, the space between the thoughts. And whatever you put in that space is shaping what the next moment looks like. Passing all the time, guaranteed. Magic comes in with consciously filling the space for the sake of all sentient beings, for the sake of your own selfish assholeness. Deciding to make this moment the way you'd like to live it. And that can destroy, create, or preserve it. It's a free zone. It's also the zone, if we can actually be that space, we can experience reality outside of this system and structure that we're born into. So, in the spirit of contemplation of these prior principles, I have the following song for you. At this point, we looked at what's actually happening before we have any experience of it, like the ground on which our experience is happening. And on the tree of life diagram before you, you can see that there's this division between the upper three and the rest of the tree. That division is called abyss. The void we all know and love. The void between your personal event, experience, and the wideness that allows it to be possible. And most of us, with our pursuit of worldly and spiritual goals, are just endlessly reinforcing the bottom of the tree. But you've been introduced to non-dual practice here. You can realize, even in the midst of ordinary life, liberation from that chit. The chit. All the communication in existence. When it comes through the abyss, something happens to it, and it becomes mind. And so there's a friction that makes mind up. On the one hand is this intuition of what's around you. And getting a sense of what's around you allows for communication to occur in a given direction. And the two are constantly informing each other. As soon as you communicate to a particular direction, immediately, it's like in the form of figure 8, it reflects back to you. And what is an individual person? Right? You're looking at her individual happening. It's a network of all these influences that you've turned on to in your own unique way. And so you look at that and give attention to that direction, and all of a sudden, the energy of that network, the light, because it's all light, comes through you. And the world and activity and power of that network comes through your nervous system, your way of perceiving reality and your conditioning. But really, it's just another direction. And the light that sees the thoughts, I mean, it's all directions all the time. So sometimes you might want to change thought, you might want to just say, does not matter, need not be. Because when it comes to consciousness, the light consciousness, is there any difference between the quality of one thought and any other? If you don't have some kind of hope or fear you're looking to see, all thoughts are thoughts. They're shit. And so that's one thing that happens. And what happens to life? All things moving at once. Suddenly you feel alone. You need to accomplish something. You have a desire. Who gave you it? The room around you made it seem pleasing. Made it seem your existence was dependent on it to survive. As much as you seem to pay attention to a given thought or direction. The desire is a polarity too. It's, like I say, love, emotion, where we make it mean something to us that we're in this room. Personalize it, bring it in, the energy of it, feeding us. But then, after a while, you need to move. You take in the food and the energy, and it moves your system. So we have will. And if we were allowing love and will to just alternate, receiving, giving, being the going that it is, we'd see that we're none other than a continuous ocean of bliss and movement. No kind of restriction whatsoever or boundary it had to come within to be communicated or manipulated as such. What about the heart? Well, it becomes on the other side of your, in the personal world, this continual relationship between creating that point of view and focusing in, and instantly when you focus in on part of the structure around you, you start to unconsciously develop these identifying moments, these differentiating moments, these desiring moments. And if it isn't somehow appropriate to acting out properly, you usually suppress it, just say, come up. And when you actually be with one of these directions that you give attention to, you let yourself be when it arises, but you feel the current deeper. And what happens? You're liberated from that role. With every encounter that inspires you to be someone, you're set free to be the no one. And it's not like an experience, the no one. It is just, it doesn't matter. like a dream when you wake up. So, what magic is then is, it really only comes in use to like do magical life after the sense of you has arisen. You can choose to put your attention on anything, anywhere, and with whatever arises, you can play it out. And sometimes you can support the event and be a good role for that. Sometimes you can destroy it. Or at times you can create with it. But it's freedom. If you don't identify with that thing as being real. Yeah. So, after we've made our appearance as a person, however that happened, there are 4 domains that open up. There's physical reality, where the activity and energy of a whole wide, ultimately universal network of beings have come together. So here you go, you develop from 1 cell to several trillion. You're hustling about from room to room. All on the way, you're like picking up these labels of what things are. You're going through the educational system. Each situation that you meet in its beingness and activity calls out from you a particular adaptability. That's one level. You just appear the right way for the room you're in. If you allow yourself to respond naturally to it. If you hang on, then you're a goner. You feel ripped off pretty soon. And then there's this emotional level that opens up a little deeper than the physical. And what it includes is the whole history of all the people that came together to focus and create your appearance. Ancestors, environments that were evolved through. Guess who gets that inheritance? You. This is like saying that there's a body around this body. It's the light. Sometimes you can enter in dreams or consciously travel with it. And out-of-body experiences as such have really been misnamed. I consider them embodiments of the wider energy field of existence. But it doesn't stop there, because that wide body of memory and vision and emotional response focuses in a little bit more and becomes a point. And from that point, it's the mental body. All communication is a play on a point, a line, a circle. And the curve is just part of that circle. So here we are, this infinite possibility as the mind, just awareness that I thought, and we radiate out, and we connect the eye to an object. And I mean, just as the light hits a tree and casts a shadow, when the light of pure awareness hits the thought, it creates a shadow called I. So the tension, holding your attention in that given direction, creating the I sense. And so, go a little deeper, and you find what's moving that point about is every goddamn happening in the universe. This is your will. The light of the entire cosmos coming through you. One. As it goes out from the will, directing your attention to the mind establishing thoughts around the I thought, to the memories of your emotional body, your energy body, to a physical action. Your world is created. And you have the choice of how to direct that. When you allow yourself that feeling, past emotions, the emotional recoil, joy or horror, to all this, after feeling like you're a person. If you get past that, you can really sense that there's just these 4 levels going on. And it's awareness. It's not like you're causing one thing and getting another. The fact is that synchronicity is the rule. And on that sheet, you'll see some of the associations with color and principles of energetic intent. And so you can choose, hey, I'm going to visualize white light. I'm going to feel what it would be to be pure in this moment. Well, how long can you put your attention on that? Right? How long can you put attention on some little slight your beloved has made to you? What is it that we consider critical for the moment? Now, the wise will live and go. And any kind of spiritual practice, including magical practice, from the point of view of samadhi, union with how things are, total bullshit. But hey, we think something's going on. Might as well play. Yeah. And invocation is really where you set up the world, the quality that you want, and you arrange everything that's in harmony with that quality on a level of sound, on a level of taste, touch, smell, all chakras. And you just allow yourself to contemplate that. And you perform and act it out. And it causes changes. A lot of people are physically fucked. They got circumstances very difficult. But what if they activate and unfold that energy through the mind or visualization? It's very helpful so that you can enjoy in the midst of directly becoming aware. And so poetry is very effectively used in invocation. And Pan is a word that means all and nothing. It's like the highest formula you can imagine. And so these images and words that evoke Pan are really embodied in this sample invocation. Sentinel now read and tell you about a few more things. Okay. Got water? The usual. Thanks.
Okay. He liveth, Pan. Pan is not dead, he liveth. Pan. He liveth. In the whimsical heart of a wandering whore, in the fiery core of a festering sore, in the living frame of an open door, Pan is not dead, he liveth. Pan, he liveth. In the very question that you abhor, the desire to know what life holds in store, he liveth. In the moment when you cry for more, Pan is not dead, he liveth. Pan, he liveth. In the lunar soul of a woman, man, in the cluttered mind of a garbage can, in the hopes and dreams of an also ran, Pan is not dead, he liveth. Pan, he liveth. In the blood where it thickens and clots, in that airy space where you tie your knots, he liveth. In the wind-swept caverns between your thoughts, Pan is not dead, he liveth. Pan, he liveth. In the internal and not in the span, he liveth. To live and not to scan, he liveth. In the heart and soul of man, Pan is not dead, he liveth. Pan.
Wow, Scooby-Doo ding dong. That's a way of calling forth the mystery. You get into it. It's really amazing. Of course, I knew the author personally. He's my guru, Frank Lewis Morton, Bubba Pandos. And so, basically, you can choose to set the environment of your life. This freedom to affirm that. And then once you choose it, once you set it in place, just relax, let go. I mean, it kind of combines masculine and feminine practice in its essence quite nicely. And so, one of the things they talk about is banishing all the negative qualities, all the distracting qualities. And I quite honestly never saw the point. I was like hissing and clapping and doing the number to get my mind clear. But I had a suspicion that really your aura was the cosmos. You were the entire cosmos come together at a point. So I invoked all the heaviest archetypes. I didn't bother banishing. You see before you the result. So the thing of it is that I found the best banishing you can do to annihilate every kind of positive and negative distraction is just ask, who am I? Yeah. And then evocation, classical evocation is a very heavy trip. You get in a circle and you call up a demon to appearance. This is so they can do little tasks. Well, the demons are really parts of the brain, long unused by our civil get-togethers. And there's a better, more effective way, which is if you want to presently draw in certain qualities into your life or desires, how do you manifest them? By making a sigil. Not there on your sheet is a really quick knockoff sigil. You get your statement of desire, you take the letters of that desire and turn it into an abstract symbol. An artist can do really fine things with it, but that's what I do. And the main thing is that you get into a very heavy place of like intensity of energy, some kind of trance-inducing technique, spiritual techniques, sexuality. At the moment when you're just totally like without boundary, feast your eyes on the sigil and let it just take it in without having it mean anything to you. And then it starts to manifest. It's a wild process. It's been known to cause sudden changes in weather, every kind of thing. And you have there showing how each letter equals a number, and each of those numbers refer to a level of vibration. Any kind of quality that you want can be found in the number. And so let's say you start saying words and writing poetry and based around a particular quality, and you can do that also, and that code is there for your work and delight. I mean, you can find out things like a high equals a 7, love emotion, correct? And so does all my relations, the door. Like when you're in a sweat lodge, it gets too hot, you just go out into the immensity. Or get out. Same thing. So you can start playing around with concepts in your mind. And I have sessions that specialize in that. And then, pretty much, because the world is sound, there are certain words I like. One is ipsos. It's a word meaning by the same mouth. Well, what's the mouth? That we're all being sung out of moment to moment. Space-time. Space-time singing us out. The beloved is singing each one of you out right now. And there's always something around ready to hear just your song. And so, on the physical level, on the emotional, visual level, the mental level, all the bodies, you just let yourself go and sing out. Ipsos. And then there's abracadabra. You say, every quality in me that wants to kill this moment or survive this moment, I release into truth. Abracadabra. It's amazing what you pick up when you work with these sounds. And you open. The eye is the secret seed. Here you are, the witness, and you're seeing what's happening around you. And the other side of that witness is hidden because it's known as your inner being. And in that space, that's both internal and external, arises the seed, I. And that seed releases itself through expression. And whatever it's expressing, whatever you are expressing now, is just the medicine that's needed to balance the movement committed to action. Because, while going still is good for all of us, for existence it'd be kind of creepy if everything stopped. Or totally fucking delightful, no matter. I mean, it depends on what kind of state you're in. Yeah, and just as a general thing of manifestation, it's good to realize that every person that's in your life, or every impression you have of any object around you, is just seeing what you need to be filled with in the moment. But let it go and experience the reality which you both share. There's a line quoted on there, like there's all sorts of terminology, and we can use them, we can on our path, become very useful. But, and apply it to enlightenment, realization. Yeah. In this presentation, it's spoken of many things. Do not apply any objective reality to any of them. The whole point is that by doing certain things happen. And it's out of that the non-dual reality can be enjoyed with the freedom and reception of your own unfolding each moment. And it can get that much more wider if you include magical discipline in it. And that's pretty much what I wanted to really share. I'd be happy to take any questions or anything. Moment to moment, bringing the balance to all your loved ones. Breathing them in, the furthest possibilities of your universe, and breathing out to it. See what your mood to communicate. Some kind of tone, some kind of word, whatever the living fuck of reality dictates to you. Consciousness and power, baby.